We have understood that we cannot be happy by the things of this world, and the happiness is within. But how to access this happiness which is within? This is possible by engaging oneself in the service of the Lord. A soul can be only happy when he or she can engage in the service of the Lord. There is a beautiful story in Pancharatta. All the senses, they were discussing among themselves. Eyes was saying, hey, once I see the food, I give the direction to all to go and pick up the food. And that's why my job is the most important. The mouth says, ha, you see the food, but unless I don't chew it, what is going to happen? Nothing. Hand says, okay, unless I don't pick up the food, nothing is going to go to the body. And the leg says, come on, unless I don't walk you to the food, you are not going to get it. And this is how they were discussing. But then all of them came to one conclusion that all of them are working to feed the stomach. And they were saying, this is completely unfair. We all work just to please stomach? What is this? We go on strike. We are not going to serve the stomach from now on. So they decided, food stop looking at the food, feet stop going towards the food, whatever. But what do you expect? After maybe a few hours or a few days, they all started feeling weak. Hen was trying to see and trying to feel the gulab jamun and just trying to enjoy with the hand, but he was miserable. And all started becoming weak. And then they all agree we need to make stomach happy to be happy ourselves. Same is the case, friends, for pleasing the Lord. He is the source of all of us. He is the complete, we are the part. If the complete is satisfied, we are going to satisfy. Just like a tree, it has a lot many branches and leaves. We are like one of the leaf of the tree. If you want to feed the leaf, they require water. Would you like to drop the water on the leaves? Would you think it will reach to the leaves? No. One has to feed the roots. Once the roots are fed with the water, the same water will nourish the whole tree. And same is the case when we serve the Lord. Lord is the whole, and when He is pleased, all the parts are pleased. And this is a beautiful pastime even in Mahabharata, which explains this wonderfully. One day, when the Pandavas were there in the jungle on the Vanvas, Duryodhana, he was visited by one of the very, very strong saint, Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni comes along with his 10,000 disciples and Duryodhana serves him quite well. Now, after serving Durvasa Muni, Duryodhana was asked by Durvasa Muni, ask me for something which is religious and I'll give you. I said, it's just my only request, please go and give even the opportunity to serve you to even Pandavas. Please especially go at the time of evening once Draupadi has eaten her own food. Hearing this, Rasamuni says, perfectly fine, I will go. The plan was the Pandavas had the Akshay Patra from which the unlimited food used to come out, but once the Draupadi is eaten in the evening, no food will come out. It will be coming only on the next day. Now, as the Durvasa Muni arrives, post Draupadi has eaten, it has been very well received by Yudhishthir Maharaj. And after that, Yudhishthir Maharaj requests them, please go and take a bath and we will keep the arrangements ready. So after Durvasa Muni, along with his 10,000 disciples, goes to the river for taking a bath, uh, Yudhishthir Maharaj makes the arrangement For that, he goes to Draupadi and says, "Can we have a food?" And to his surprise, Draupadi is already eaten, and Draupadi says, "No food." Now, Durvasa Muni is a very, very angry saint. He is famous for cursing, even for a small mistake. And now Yudhishthir is very much perplexed. What is going to happen? What's going to happen if he's not able to feed the Durvasa Muni and his disciples? Draupadi, out of the same anxiety, prays to the Lord for the help. And her prayer and calling for the Lord is so intense. The Lord from Dwarka just leaves everything and comes down to Draupadi. He was eating his food and he left that food and just came here. And he asks Draupadi and says, "You called me?" He says, "Yeah, I've been very much anxious." He says, "Yeah, but I'm really hungry. Give me a food." He said, Draupadi says, "You are one more person to be fed a food. We have a Prabhu, we have a Durvasa Muni and his 10,000 disciples, and we're to be fed them. And now you are asking me to feed you?" He says, "Please give me something." So he said, "I don't have anything. Please get Akshay Patra. Let me just check." Gets Akshay Patra, and there was a small, grain of rice with maybe some leaf, vegetable. He just takes that and he says, "I'm satisfied." And just he does that, all the universe gets satisfied. And the Durvasa Muni and the 10,000 disciples, while taking the bath, suddenly their stomach bloated and they felt like they have been fed to the neck and they cannot eat even a single grain more. So they started looking at each other. And now at this side, Krishna asks Bhima to go and call. Now, Bhima is a very special personality because he likes to feed the guest the same quantity which he eats. Atmanyamatada. You feel the world is like you. And he goes and now to call, Yudhishthira and Bhima are perplexed, but then they follow what Krishna says. So Duryodhana goes to call Durvasa Muni and 10,000 disciples. And now, looking at Bhima coming, all the disciples they start looking at each other and Durvasa Muni, and they said, "We are in trouble. If we don't go now to eat, they would have made a preparation and they will be extremely angry. But now we cannot eat because we are filled to the brim." So all of them decide to just run away from that location, and they start just running. And this is how the whole pastime goes, where we can see how Krishna, if he is satisfied, the whole world is satisfied. So if one wants to be truly happy, the only way one can be happy by pleasing the Lord. And this is how we can see from the ages there have been so many kings who have been ruling so many kingdoms, but then ultimately they go and renounce their kingdom to ultimately start doing spiritual activity for the pleasure of the Lord. So thank you very much.